Okay, today we're going to talk about combinations and permutations and compare the two and contrast them. A combination is a number of ways that R things can be selected from N things. The formula you can use to find that is NCR equals N factorial over R factorial times the quantity N minus R factorial. Alright, this order does not matter and there is no repetition allowed. Okay, so once something's included in this, you can't include it again. All right. Unlike a permutation, a different order does not make a different combination. Okay? So 3C2. This would be like how many ways can I pick two people to how many ways can I pick two people out of a group of three? Okay, 3C2. So using our formula, you're going to have 3 factorial over 2 factorial times 3 minus 2 factorial, which is going to be 3 factorial over 2 factorial, 1 factorial. All right, and then these two numbers right here, these two numbers always have to add up to give me the numerator. Okay, so 2 plus 1 adds up to be 3. So 2 factorial is 2, 1 factorial is 1, 2 times 1 is 2, 3 factorial is 3 times 2, which is 6, 6 over 2 is 3. Okay? 8C5, so you have like 8 factorial over, I want R, and then what do I add to 5 to get 8? Well, 3. There we go. Okay, and I'm going to rewrite this guy as 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 factorial over 5 factorial times 3 times 2 times 1. Okay, and then the 5 factorials will cancel out, that's nice. And then 3 times 2 times 1 is 6. Which will cross out with that 6. So it is simply going to be 8 times 7, which is 56. And then 10C10. Okay, 10C10. 10 factorial over 10 factorial times 0 factorial would be what the formula is here. And basically, this is only going to be 1 over 1 times 1, which is 1. So NCN is always going to be N. We talked about these earlier when we were doing the binomial expansions too, right? Okay, NC1 is always N. All right, so how can you tell the difference? Differentiating between a permutation and a combination. So what I want to do is, if I want to decide if the following require a permutation or a combination, that's it. And this is basically going to be determined by whether or not the order matters. Okay? Whether or not the order matters. All right. Decide if the following require a permutation or a combination. From the 10 discus throwers on the track team, 3 are going to be selected to go to the next track meet. Now, does it say anything about, like, the order that they're going to be selected in? Like, I mean, somebody's going to be the captain, or somebody's going to be the first thrower, second, or third. It just says I'm picking 3. If I'm picking a group of 3 out of 10, and there's no differentiating, either you're going or you're not, then that is a combination. And that would be 10C3. Clues, like keywords that lead you towards a combination as opposed to a permutation, would be like a committee. All right, a committee of 5 is being selected from a group of 120 students. So committee, right? I mean, either you're on the committee or you're not. It doesn't say anything about being like the chairman of the committee or anything like that. It just says you're picking 5 people to form a committee. So that is a combination. 120C5. Okay, that's a combination, right? And then 3, selecting 10 songs for your iPod from the 250 that you own. So you're going to put 10 songs on your iPod for whatever reason. Out of the 250 that you have on the cloud. So 250 C10. I think at this point those numbers probably need to be higher than that, right? You probably have like, I don't know, thousands on the cloud and you can only fit like 250 on your iPod. But again, that's going to be a combination. Either it's on the iPod or not. All right? Some people will consider the order that it's on there, but it doesn't really address that one. So I would consider that a combination. This one here says a batting order of 9 players from 13 players. Now, is it the same thing if you have your biggest, strongest guy who hits home runs batting 4th as it is having him bat 9th? And the fastest guy, the guy who gets on base a lot, we want him to bat 1st. So the order does matter with this one. All right, so that's going to be 13P9 because it's a totally different lineup if you have Derek Jeter batting second than if you have him batting ninth, for example. Okay, or if you have Big Poppy batting leadoff as opposed to Big Poppy batting third or fourth. Okay, so that's going to give you a different possibility. So that's a permutation. All right, electing a president, vice president, treasurer, and secretary from the class of 2011. Now, being president is not the same as being treasurer. Okay, so you got to take the amount of people that's going to be a permutation. I don't know, the class of 2011 had, let's say it had 76. P4. Okay, so from 76 people, you're going to pick 4. Okay, next. All right, here we get into some applications. Billy has 124 CDs. His mom said he can bring 30 CDs with him on their trip to Florida. In how many ways can Billy do this? Okay. Again, Billy needs to get an iPod, I think. All right. All right, so he has 124 CDs. He's going to bring 30 CDs with him. Now, does it matter which one he puts in the suitcase first or not? I mean, if it's in the suitcase, it's in the suitcase, right? So that is going to be a combination. That is going to be 124 C30. 124 C30. Okay, so if I want to do this 124 C30, that's a pretty big one there, right? I'm not going to be able to do that on, I mean, I can, but I don't know if I can do it in my head. All right, so I'm going to resort to the calculator here. All right, 124 C30. Right? Oh, wow, there's a lot of ways you can do that. Okay, so that is equal to 5.222 times 10 to the 28 ways. There's a lot of ways to do that. Okay. All right, so Tom is homesick from school. His mom is going to let him rent movies to keep him from getting bored. He likes horrors and comedies. If Netflix has 123 horror films and 210 comedies, in how many ways can he pick 4 horror movies and 5 comedies? So, from horror movies, how many total is he going to pick? I think that's 123. And is this going to be a permutation or a combination? I mean, does it matter which horror movie he picks first? Not really, right? I mean, it may matter which one he watches first, but the way he picks them, that's a combination. 123 C4, and that word "and" there means multiply. Out of 210 comedies, all right, he is going to choose 5. Okay, so there we go. So I need to do 123, math, NCR, 23C4. And then to that I'm going to multiply that by, we'll have to see here, 210 NCR, 210 C5. I put that in parentheses because I wanted to make sure that I did the combination before I multiplied. I just wasn't exactly sure. So 2.945 times 10 to the 16th. So a lot of possibilities for that one as well. Okay. Now, using combinations to calculate probabilities. If I continue Tom's video situation, let's assume Tom's going to rent 10 movies. What is the probability that he rents 6 horror films and 4 comedies? 6 horror films and 4 comedies. All right, so what I'm doing here is finding out how many possible ways he can rent 10 videos all together from all the videos that they had. Okay, so there were 123 horrors and there were 210 comedies. Yeah? Okay, 123 horrors and 210 comedies. Okay, all right, which gives me a total of 333 movies altogether. Okay, so if I'm using this combination, the number of ways that he can choose out of 333 movies to choose 10 is 333C10. That's the total number of ways he can pick 10 movies. All right, but I want him to rent 6 horror films, which is 123C6, and then times 210C, and he's choosing 5 of those, right? Now 4 comedies, okay? Here we go. Okay, and that's the expression there. Okay, that's what that's going to be equal to. This class has 12 girls and 8 boys. And I want to form a 4-person math team. Probably the 19 consists of 1 boy and 3 girls. 1 boy and 3 girls. Okay, back up here. Let's see, 123C6, right, guys? That's going to be 123 times 122 times 121 times, right, and I'm doing all of this over, this is going to be 6 factorial and 117 factorial. All right, 6 factorial and 117 factorial. 6 factorial, 117 factorial. So you can see I can kind of stop here when I get to 117. So 120, 119, 118, 117 factorial, right? And then these will cancel. And then I can figure out 6 factorial, we'll multiply those and get 123C6. Or you can use your calculator. And then you do 210C4, and you do that over 333C10. Okay? Those numbers are big, and they have scientific notation, and then you just kind of simplify them up. Okay? And the way to do that, to make sure that you don't screw anything up, really, right? And have too many rounding errors, is to kind of do it all at once. So I'm going to do this all at once. All right? So I'll do a parenthesis. 123 math combination, 123C6 parenthesis, okay, times parenthesis, all right, 210 math over PRB, so 3, all right, C4, okay, and then that is going to then be divided by 333 math 3C10. And I get that answer. Okay, so that's the probability, 0.0830. Okay, and this last one here I'm going to kind of leave as an exercise for you to try and do. Class has 12 girls and 8 boys. I want to form a 4-person math team. So, what is probably my team consists of 1 boy and 3 girls. Okay? Nah, we'll set it up. I've got time. I've got like 2 minutes. I've got 12 girls and 8 boys, so that means I have 20 total. Okay? 4-person math team. So that's going to be 20C4. Out of 20 people, I'm going to choose 4. And I want to know the probability that my team consists of 1 boy and 3 girls. So out of 8 boys, I'm choosing 1. And out of 12 girls, I am choosing 3. Okay? There you go. And I will leave that to you to kind of evaluate that. All right, good luck. Thanks.